March 11th, 2010. I'm Stephen Chenault, and I work for Troller Games. Welcome back to the show. Davis is here again.
Yes, I work for Troller Games as well.
We're going to do some more Q&A. We got some more questions in the email box. I actually read the things, burned them off a little bit.
This is what gnomes look like at DLG.
Okay, so we actually are going to do something that I think 2 videos ago Davis said we would never do, which is answer a snail mail question. And sure enough, we got a snail mail question here. And it says, we're going to let you see it because it is so awesome. It says, Mr. Troll Lords, what's up with Davis's hats? Sincerely, Homo. And he's drinking Dr. Pepper. He's got Dr. Pepper stains all across it. So it's awesome.
He lives in Ohio?
Yeah, apparently.
What did you write this with a crayon?
I think he's like kids, like 10 years old.
You what?
What's up with the hats? So the hats.
I like to keep my head warm, and hats serve that function.
So on to the next one. We've got how man monsters are in. Oh, I think this is how many monsters are in the Monsters and Treasures. It looks to be there's about 150, I think. Very few of the monsters have multiple personalities like Golems do, you know, with the string golem, and there's none of that stuff. It's just all 150 individual monsters. It might be 151 or 152, but it's right around in there.
String golem?
Yeah, you know, some of those monster books, they've got like the copper golem, the brass golem, the string golem, the spaghetti golem, the grass golem.
151 unique monsters rather than 72 different types of golem.
Foam golem. Okay, got a cool foam golem. You can make a castle down of the marshmallow. Davis is actually quite a talented modeler, for those of you who care. Sure, it's not.
That would be no one that I know.
Yeah. So then this question had a second part to it.
I created all these models and scenery and paint miniatures for the games and stuff. We never used them.
Yeah, they're all in boxes out there.
Dwarven Forge junk. Everyone always complains about
it. Awesome. But actually, you made the Vakken Tower somewhere.
Yeah, I made the Vakken.
It actually, I dropped something on it and broke all the railings on the top.
Oh,
yeah, it's all busted up.
I think it's still out there. I thought
the railings are all busted off. So the second part to this question was, are the magic items going to be typical items as already appear in the Monsters and Treasures? No. The magic items in Monsters and Treasures of Aihrde are actually giving me a little bit of grief, only because I don't know. Yeah, see, it's a pretty cool little tower. You can see where I dropped a gigantic miniature that's like 18 pounds on it and crushed it in some kind of Cthulhu.
This was my first attempt at modeling 15 years ago.
It's pretty cool.
I've improved somewhat, and they don't have spider webs and roach droppings on them.
Yeah, he's improved somewhat in that he finished that one. But so anyways, yeah, there's going to be a lot of treasure in there, but it's going to be taking everything from Winter Runes, Heart Glass, Codex of Aihrde, and Odd things we've created. I think the A series, there's a number of them. But they're not going to be in lists where you roll it. This is your treasure acquisition list. The CK is going to have to take a little bit of time to kind of go through it and see what these items all are. They're pretty unique, pretty special. Most of them. There's not another bundle of +1 swords and all of that business. If it's a sword, it's got some kind of purpose.
What we're trying to do with that is bring into like the monsters as well as the magic items, is the storytelling element of that monster and of that magic item, such that you come across a magic sword and you're like, what's its plus to hit and what's its plus to damage?
Excalibur. What is that Excalibur? It's got a history to it.
Right, it's got a history. So what the idea behind these monsters, but specifically behind the treasures, is they have a history to them and they have a story to them. Help bring that story element to your character or to your game. And the story is, of course, tied into the overall Aihrdean thing. But we are trying to be very careful in all of that, and that you can port that into whatever game world you're playing in. Although I'm sure you're going to be like one member of the table who's going to sit there and look at the story element and just go, huh? What's the damage per round?
Now, we do have some pretty cool items in there, like blankets that heal you an extra hit point. These are special blankets crafted by the halflings. You sleep under them, you heal an extra hit point that night. Stuff like that. Very useful items, and then very heroic, epic items we got in there. And that's actually about wrapped up. I think we're deep in the layout now, so hopefully by the end of March we're seeing that book in press and rolling about. So the next question No, you have any more comments to make?
Did you get my magic items?
Yes, I did. Those that I could find. When I reread the A series, I kept finding magic items that were odd, here and there, and they weren't like in the back. I didn't know they existed. But yeah, I pulled those out and plopped them in there where I could find them.
Right. Yeah. Can you give an example of one magic item?
Can I give an example of one magic item?
Yeah, you know one out there. I know one from Aihrde that I used that turned out to be a really good magic item.
What's that?
The Aihrde tote, the sword, the death sword. What it did was allow the character to fight to his negative, fight into the negative equal to his hit points. So if he had 29 hit points, he could fight up to negative 29.
Now that's pretty cool.
However, once he hit 0 hit points, or that character hit 0 hit points, they were dead. So no matter what happened, when the battle was over or he hits negative 29 hit points, he's dead. What it allows that character to do is have a heroic moment. Now, and Chris took that sword with his knight, and remember y'all were being chased by, the whole party was being chased by like 100 goblins, and there were like 4 party members, everything had slaughtered. And they came to this narrow valley, then a ford, and Chris's character, a paladin, who was carrying the Aihrde tote, stopped and turned at the ford to face the goblins off, and managed to hold the goblins off long enough to allow the party to escape, but he died in the process. So his character died a heroic death.
He was a cavalier.
He was a cavalier.
Or paladin or something.
Unlike his next cavalier.
His next one did not die so heroically. He threw his weapons down, begging for mercy.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Because his next cavalier, he loved that cavalier so much. He really played really well. So his next cavalier, he brings into the game. There's a big battle brewing. There's like 400. It's the end of the Viking series. There's 400 goblins gatherings and whatever, junk. And he comes in riding on his big, huge steed, and he has a massive lance. And then he has the little puppy dog. Curled up because he has a little pet dog. For some reason, he wanted a little baby chihuahua or something. I was like, okay, you're going to have your chihuahua. But he even comes in dramatically because he rides across the field, and there's the goblin army out there, and one of the leaders of the goblins gets up on his big old boar and challenges him to a fight. And, it's like a 5-hit dice thing. And he rolls a critical hit on his first thing and slaughters the goblin right now. Or whatever it was. Slaughtered it right now.
Never had it in the arch.
Yeah, he got a great entry. And then the battle started, the actual battle started. And, it's sort of a one-sided thing. The whole point of the battle was to see how the characters would get out alive, or if they could. But when he realized they were starting to lose, he started to panic. And at the end, he was throwing away his weapons.
And he kind of surrendered in the town square, begging the goblin for mercy, and was slaughtered. It was pretty awesome.
They didn't give him mercy. They just stabbed him.
They just stabbed him to death. I think Mac ran away. Charlie ran away. Todd died trying to run. No, Todd died next to me. Mark died trying to run away. But
no, Todd lived. Todd ran away.
Yeah. I did not run away.
No.
I died again. Fourth character in that game.
Can't refuse to leave the village. As Todd and the others ran away with some of the villagers or survivors trying to get out of there. Can't refuse to leave the village. He stands in the middle of the village, challenging to a fight.
No. See, the guys were pouring over the back wall.
Yeah, you had your
and I was trying to let the villagers escape so I wouldn't quit. So my wife wouldn't leave my side, so I killed her, knowing that the goblins would take her into captivity, and then I stood there over her body and I fought to the death.
This is not a commentary on
marriage. It was awesome. But anyways, back to the monster treasure. The other thing, while you're babbling, reminded me. What I've done is taken a lot of the monsters, and if you kill X monster, you can actually, some of their body parts can be translated into magic items. So a lot of the magic items are actually crafted from.
Oh yeah, right.
One item we've got is the horns of Ephraim. The horns of Ephraim are carved from the tusk of a lock, and once you sound these horns, it emboldens people, gives you a bonus on your to hit and to damage, I think, and it terrifies those who are facing you. And it's cumulative, so you can have 100 horns in an army and scatter an orc army by the sounds of the horns of Ephraim alone. So if you're up in that neck of the woods, go by and give Tom Tullis some duct tape.
Magenta.
And I'm Steve Chenault. I work for Troller Games. Have a nice day.
I'm David.